Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Waharakah Kwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And yeah, Mr. The unapologetic Edomite man is filled with wrath, and they're getting ready to do what the devil do. And as usual, Esau's going to play the victim in order to justify himself. Because this is nothing new. When Esau Edom went over there to the Americas and slaughtered the Native American Indians and stole their land, he was the victim as well. Didn't you know that he was the victim the whole time? You know, he was slaughtering his Native American Indians because they were the problem. You know, Esau was just peaceful, minding his own business, and he was victimized by these savages. It's nothing new. And so here you have it. The go-to case study for these Edomites is South Africa. You know, they point to South Africa and say, see, the white genocide is happening. You know, the world is trying to commit white genocide, and we're the victims, and immigration and all this stuff, and they're trying to make us extinct and all this garbage. All right, so we're gonna hear this guy Tucker Carlson push this narrative. He's talking about South Africa.
Well, just on principle, like every other group in the world has the right to its own homeland except white people. Like what?
Yeah.
So now Edomites, they're the victims. They're the oppressed ones. Everyone else gets to have a homeland, but white people don't. This is BS. Everywhere you Edomites are on the planet Earth is land which you've stolen. All right, you Edomites, right? Let's get this. You Edomites, right? Your homeland, your original land that you can say you dwell in, right, is the land of Edom. All right, it says, "Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir." Esau is Edom. You're the descendants of Esau. All right, let's get it. So if we look here on the Edom, right, giving you a history lesson, because you devils got some nerve. All right. Edom was an ancient kingdom that stretched across areas in the south of present-day Jordan and Israel. Edom and Edomites appear in several written sources relating to the Late Bronze Age and the Iron Age and the Levant. Let's just keep moving. So here we have a map. All right, this is the Middle East, as some may say, really East Asia. And you see here, the land of Israel, the kingdom of Israel, kingdom of Judah. You see the kingdom of Moab, the land of Moab, the kingdom of Ammon. Right to the south, you got the kingdom of Edom with the capital Bozrah. This is the homeland of the Edomites. This is the homeland of the Edomites. Any other land that you Edomites possess today, you possess it because of the sword. You dispossessed somebody else. And we can go down the list. Okay, so first of all, let's start over here. Alaska belonged to the Native Americans. You slaughtered them and stole their land. Canada belonged to the Native Americans. You slaughtered them, stole their land. Now it's your country. The United States, you slaughtered them, stole their land. Mexico, you subjugated the people and installed your seed as the elite of that land. And we can do that for almost every country in South America. Every country in South America, the ruling elite is majority of Edomite descent, whether you're talking about Mexico, Spaniards, whether you're talking about Brazil, Portuguese. In fact, Uruguay is almost exclusively Edomite immigrants, right? Whether you're talking about Argentina, all these South American countries, while there are natives that still live there, the people who really own and control these nations are of Edomite descent. Okay, but they may not be considered to be white countries. Okay, fair enough. But definitely America is considered to be a so-called white country. So is Canada. So is Alaska. All stolen land. Greenland, the whole of Europe. Europe is the land of Japhet. And then Jacob also dwelt there, and you took that land. All right. South Africa. South Africa belonged to the Hamitic peoples and the Bantu peoples. And you stole that land. All right. Where else can we go to? Oh, let's go over here. Australia belonged to Japhet. Right? He slaughtered those people, took their land. Same thing, New Zealand. And so, what's this guy talking about? All right. You know what I'm saying? Talking about homelands. Yeah. You're from Edom. You're not from Europe. You're not from America. But all of a sudden, you want to be a victim now. Right, this is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right? When it comes to stealing lands and conquering lands, you Edomites are the chief people when it comes to that. All right? You're everywhere except your own homeland. All right? These devils got some nerve, man. But they're the victims now. Habakkuk. Let's get that. Habakkuk 2:5 says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? So when you're talking about South Africa, like, come on, dog.
Like, tell me, just explain to me how that makes sense. Either no group has the right, or every group has the right. Yep. It's really that simple.
Well, technically, all nations have a right to their inheritance that the Lord gave them. All right? Because the Lord divided unto all nations their inheritance. Esau, Edom, you're the number one nation who likes to take other people's inheritance. That's why you're spread out through the world the way you are. This is Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For Jacob is his people. Sorry, for the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So the Lord gave all the nations their inheritances, the lands which they have right to. And even when we were coming out of Egypt, the Lord instructed us not to take of the land of the nations. The only land that we took for ourselves was the land of Canaan, which was given to us by divine unction. That is actually the land of Israel. Yeah, but we were instructed not to take of the land of the Moabites, because that was given unto them. We didn't take of the land of Mizraim. We didn't take of the land of Ammon, because these landmarks, these inheritances was given unto those nations. All right. So every nation is entitled to the land of their inheritance. But you Edomites, you're the number one people who have stolen other people's inheritances. What's this guy talking about?
That's simple. And if you want to say no group has right, okay. You might even convince me. I don't know. I'm not a race guy, actually, by my temperament at all.
That's a lie.
I'd kind of like to ignore it. But as long as
Yeah, he ignores race, whatever, man.
some groups have a right,
There's no way you can grow up in this world and ignore race. It's literally programmed into you to acknowledge race. So anyone that tells you that they ignore race is lying.
to self-determination, then every group has a right. It's that simple. Yes. And if there's a special carve out where one group doesn't have a right, you have to explain to me why that group doesn't have that right.
So basically, what they're complaining about is the situation in South Africa. You have certain privileges that the Edomites had in South Africa that were taken away once apartheid was broken down. And that meant that some of the Edomites lost a lot of their standard of living because they were being upheld by the apartheid. And not only that, but you even have Edomite families who own farmland having those farmlands taken away from them by the government. But this is the thing you need to understand about what's happening in South Africa. What's happening in South Africa is the elite Edomites, mainly the JOOs, using so-called black majority government to transfer wealth from poor and middle class Edomites to the elites. That's what's happening. You see, they would want you to believe that so-called black people, Hamitic black people, own and control South Africa now through democracy. But that's not true. Democracy is a scam. The prime minister, the politicians in these democracies don't actually, for the most part, own and control these countries. There's always an elite behind them that's actually pulling the strings. Just like in the UK, the prime minister doesn't actually rule the UK. He's a frontman. Trump doesn't actually rule America. He's a frontman for the people who pull the strings. So he gonna do what they tell him to do. But there's a perception that it's ruled by the people. It's a perception, but it's not true. The people don't control America. The elites do, which is why these countries, everything they do will be in favor of the elites. So if you take South Africa as an example, here it is, they're taking farmland from middle class white people and the government's taking that farmland. How come they're not taking the diamond mines from the elite Edomites? Well, because it would never happen, because who's actually running the country? And even to this day, if you go and you look up the richest families in South Africa, okay, you got the Johann Rupert and family. Because remember, power is never really just the way these Edomites rule. The power and the wealth isn't just one man. It's usually a whole family that operate together. That's how they operate. So I want to get these names. Okay, let's just get that. All right, so this is Johann Rupert, and then obviously you will have his family, his brothers, and so on and so forth. And this is the richest family in South Africa. All right. Now, if the Hamites had actual control of their country, do you think this man would be the richest man? No. These are the people who are actually in control of South Africa. But they want you to believe it's not them anymore. It's the black politicians, but it's not true. All right. And this is why they don't get targeted. It's the poor whites and the middle class whites that get targeted. These guys don't get touched because they're the ones that's really doing it to their own people. I mean, I shouldn't have to look up the Oppenheimer family, and I shouldn't have to tell you who they are. And this is the two richest families in South Africa: the Johann Rupert and his family, and Nicky Oppenheimer and his family. Okay, and you got the Coos Becker. And there you go, Coos Becker. And like I said, if South Africa was truly being ruled by the native peoples, the indigenous peoples, these guys wouldn't still be the richest people. All right, they would have took these people's assets for themselves, because these people built their wealth off apartheid, just like Elon Musk family. All right, then you got this one guy. I believe one of the dudes is a so-called native. I think it's this guy. I think he's involved in banking. Patrice Motsepe. You always got to have your token. Yeah, this guy. Here's your token. All right. And then you got, Michael Leroux, which you can, let's have a look. And you can do this, experiment. Just type in top 10 richest families in Brazil and see who they are. See who they are. See who the top richest people in Brazil are, and then tell me who runs and controls Brazil. It ain't the natives. When you say, okay, Michael Leroux. Yeah, there you are. So Michael Leroux. So does this look like a country where the Edomites are oppressed and under genocide? And if they are oppressed and under genocide, then it's Edomites that's doing it. All right, so Christopher Wise. There you go, Christopher Wise. All right, you can read here. It says, in South Africa, the typical black household, the natives, owns 5% of the wealth held by the typical white household. So South Africa isn't no case study for the oppression of so-called white people. It's not. When you actually look at what's happening in South Africa, yes, you have a majority black government through democracy, but that majority black government is ruled by so-called white people and ruled in favor of the elite so-called white people. And is there Edomites that are getting the shitty end of that stick? Yes, but it's not because of the indigenous peoples. This is something that's being orchestrated by their own people. All right, but they want to use this South Africa thing and with the farmers as some genocide that's happening. It's bullshit. Ain't no genocide happening. Do farmers get attacked and killed at times? Yeah, but it's not a genocide. It's nowhere near that level. But these Edomites are dying to be victims.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that fair?
No, it's absolutely fair. Well, I think South Africa is a
what? I mean, what the hell is? Why are we playing along with this nonsense?
Yeah, it's this narrative has become this massive stream that is turned into rapids on a river that just pulls everyone along. And this narrative just says if you're white, then there's inherently something wrong with you.
It doesn't.
Yeah, that's the white guilt that the left have been pushing, and now they're gonna go all the way right with it. They're doing away with white guilt. Now it's white victimhood, white genocide, and they're gonna use that to come up against Jake and these nations, man.
Make any sense, and it's leading toward a really bad conclusion, obviously, as it has for every other group targeted in this way.
See, so the Edomites are now a targeted group. It's bullshit. Ain't nobody targeting Edomites. Edomites are targeting everyone else. But like I said, they want to be the victim.
Has really suffered in a bit, and there are a lot of them. Okay, it's not, there are a lot of them.
Yep.
And it never ends up well. And I just don't know why we're playing along where you're not even allowed to say, oh, you haven't been. I don't care anymore, obviously. But again, either every group has a right to self-determination or no group does. You can't have this system where, some groups do or all groups do but one. No. It's all or nothing on this.
Yeah, well, I can guarantee.
Tell me how I'm wrong.
No, Well,
You got Elon Musk pushing all this BS as well.
I can guarantee you that when I get back home, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble for this interview. It's
Well, I don't know why though. I mean, like, what's the
You gotta understand that the ending of apartheid was orchestrated by the JWOs, by the Edomites, for this exact purpose. All right, and all they did was transfer wealth from the middle class and poor whites to the elite whites, using democracy. All right, Mandela was an agent. All right, he was working with JWOs. All right, all right. But the point is that people are going to be coming up against you Edomites, but it's with good reason, because you're not the victim, you're the villain, you're the perpetrator. So let's get that in Habakkuk 2, and we'll read down this time. All right, these devils are really trying to play the victim, and it's amazing to see. This is Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Right? That man went down there into Africa and basically colonized it and stripped it of his wealth and turned South Africa into a so-called white country, had them man living under apartheid for years. And then they decided to end apartheid, but they still have the power and the control. And now these men want to play the victim. It's insane. It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. It says, shall not all these take up a parallel against him? Right? So what it is that pretty much every people there is on the planet Earth has a beef with these Edomites, and it's not for no reason. Every nationality of people to be found on this earth has a cause against the so-called white man. He has stolen and murdered everyone, beginning with you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you Israelites. That's the one thing all the people of the earth have in common. He's even stolen from himself, because he's a devil. It said, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. That's how Esau, Edom. This is why you have the super elites. These Edomites possess ridiculous amounts of wealth and power in the earth, because they increase that which is not theirs. They have increased themselves in wealth through stealing and oppression over the earth. It says, how long unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Thick clay meaning debts, because they are indebted to the world. When you steal from someone, you owe that person. You Edomites owe. You're in a huge deficit that's going to have to be paid. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Now, that ain't even really happened yet, and these Edomites are already playing the victim. It's crazy. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations. Right? You can go on YouTube, right? And you can like put in time-lapse conquering of the Americas. All right. And it will show you like it will show you how these men stole the world, you know? They spread like a virus. And as you see them spreading themselves, this is people dying and being oppressed. Right? This isn't spreading peace and love and people and knowledge. This is them conquering the world by the sword. Right? You got Spain on the map, Portugal, Westler family, France. See if we can fast forward there a little bit. And you got these same time lapses for Africa too. Man spread like a virus. Just killing and murdering and stealing, man. England getting involved now. And this man got some nerve. Man spreading like a weed. That's why the scripture said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. All right, and you can go and check that out. And there's time lapses like this for Africa, you know, showing how these devils just do what they do. So that's why the scripture said, "You have spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land and of the city and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house." You Edomites coveted an evil covetousness. You see the things that other people had, and you took it, that he may set his nest on high, so you can live as the first worlders, that you can live better than everyone else. The only thing that's happening now is that your elites is taking away the privileges of the underclasses. So the elite Edomites are basically eating their own people too. All right. That he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. But these Edomites, they don't wanna own up to that. They want to play the victim.
I don't really get it.
They're gonna go out. That's how they're gonna go out. Oh, like we're the victim. You know, everyone else is against us. You know, everyone else is in the wrong. We're in the right. And they're gonna go out with wrath, man. And that's how we tell you, man. Scriptures say what it say. The devil's gonna have wrath, and they really gonna have that self-righteousness in them. That's how the devil operates, man. That's how they've always operated. They don't like the idea of being the devil, so they always got to justify themselves somehow. So they'll lie and invent some false reality. Yeah, all right. Blame everyone else, just like they're gonna blame you Negroes for everything. They're already doing it. They're gonna find a reason, make it look like they're the ones being oppressed. They're the ones that's being marginalized. Right? Revelations 12:12 that therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right, look at them Amalekites. They're always playing the victim, and what always comes on the back of that? Bloodshed. Because that's how this devil operates. They love to play the victim and then justify themselves in committing more crimes. And then if you complain about it, they're going to make you into the villain. All right. But yeah, you can go and research South Africa. And you do your research, you'll find that socio-economically, not much has really changed in terms of the so-called white men and these, you know, heathen and Jake over there in South Africa. Like, Esau's still the one that's running things. Right, top management positions in South Africa, 67% of them Edomites. You know what I mean? They're still running things. Right, mid-level positions, they got 35%, but who owns it? They own the companies. It says another measure of empowerment is to look at not at who works for the country's leading companies, but who owns them. According to figures reported to South Africa's Black Economic Empowerment Commission, black ownership of companies on Johannesburg Stock Exchange in 2017 was 27%. So these Edomites own the shit, man. Right? And it's probably even less than that in reality. By this measure, Just 3% of the biggest firms are controlled by black South Africans. South Africa is still a white country, man. So it's this bullshit they're trying to pull, that these Edomites over there, are under some kind of oppression. If they're under oppression, the oppression is being orchestrated by their own people. All right. So if that, I'm gonna say shalom.